Yo, it's like 12:39 a.m. right now. Uh, this is a little late, but last Sunday, I watched Maquia When the Promised Flower Blooms, and I just want to do some of my thoughts for that. I'll be honest, I forgot most of them. It's been like 6 days, 5 days? Pretty recent. Wait, has it? Um, yeah, it's been like about a week. Um, so again, I don't have a script. I don't have anything. This is just gonna be me looking at the screenshots I took, and then me like looking at Annulist.co's website of like characters and looking at that. And then I wrote like a little journal. Unfortunately, no editing, no nothing. Again, maybe I'll like take my phone and then like do this. You can see the images or not. Um, but I guess if anybody's watching this, it's spoilers ahead. I if Go watch the movie. It's a good movie. I liked it. That's about my like piece or whatever you want to call it, like summary. Uh, so that's it. I actually went into this. Most of these movies I'm watching, most of these things I'm watching, I go into them not really knowing anything about it, so I don't read the synopsis and stuff like that. But like 3 years ago, I got spoiled on something, but it's been 3 years since I got spoiled, um, and I completely forgot what the spoiler was even about. So it's like I'm watching the movie brand new uh, last week when I watched it. Um, so I mean, yes, the first thing off the top of my head is I really enjoyed the music. The music was very enjoyable. Uh, that's pretty much it. I I wish I said this like a video or two ago, but I wish I retained the not. I keep touching my head. I wish I retained the knowledge, the musical knowledge of whatever that I did all like my classical years of like playing piano and violin and that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I did not remember any music theory and stuff like that. Circle of fifths, whatever you call it. Don't remember that circle. Don't remember anything really. So, uh, well, I can say that the type of music they did is the type of music I really enjoy. Really orchestral, um, and then just general sound design was enjoyable as well. Uh, if you watch it, you'll hear it. You'll listen to it. That's my piece on that. Um, I guess talking about there were a lot of themes in this movie. Now that I'm like doing this, I'm starting to remember things. But there were a lot of themes in this movie, and most of the time I kind of don't think about themes. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Uh, I guess theory of knowledge in high school, they tell you to like do reflections and just like you read a book, you reflect on it, you write an essay, that kind of stuff. And I did most of that in high school, and now I kind of just watch things. Um, but I'm sure that a lot of the things I've watched have had themes and like motives and all that like English literature stuff that I've kind of forgotten as well. Um, but this one I was because I guess because I've been doing these videos and then also keeping journaling of basically right after watching this stuff, I've been more cognizant of it. Um, so anybody watching this, do like journal, do stuff, whatever. Think basically. Don't do what I did for the past couple of years and not think. Um, Unless if it's for like programming, that's all I do. But yeah, there's a lot of themes in here. Obviously, the first one was that came up. I think was uh, being alone, like loneliness, right? It's like one of the very first thing Maquia talks about with the elder, um, and then it's presented. I believe one of the first scenes you see is uh Lelia, is that her name? Lelia jumps like into the water, and then she's like, Maquia, come do it, and then like she's too afraid to do it, right? Um, and it's like, I don't know if that is specifically loneliness, but it's like kind of like a separation between like it's I don't know the word you call it. My my brain thought processes are kind of slow, so sorry about that. But and I don't have the vocabulary word to like assist in describing it either. Um, but the like separation, the differentiation between Maquia and Lelia. Um, and I'm only thinking about this now, but that separation in the beginning between Maquia and Lelia is pretty present within the movie, the ongoing like movie as well. Like obviously they like have two different lives. Um, very obvious when you watch the movie. Uh, so maybe I'll come back on that idea later. Maybe I won't. Kind of don't want to make this too long. It's like 12:46 a.m. I kind of want to go to sleep. And I also watched Look Back, which that was like 2 or 3 days ago. Um, and I didn't make a video for that either, but I need to find the time to make those videos like after, immediately after, so that I'm not like, it's not, it's like you take a cookie out, it's no longer fresh, it's like cold, still a cookie, but you know, maybe bad analogy, but you kind of get what I'm saying. But yeah, loneliness, right? I can't really, kind of too boomer for this now, and by boomer I mean like I don't reflect and I don't do that kind of stuff well enough for like people to be listening to me. Um, so if you are listening, maybe find a better reviewer. But this is mostly for myself so that I can look back on it. So sorry for rambling, but loneliness, that's brought up many times throughout the movie. And then there is mothership, right? Motherhood. I'm not sure what you would call it. But motherhood, both Lelia and Makia have like very different experiences of motherhood. And I'm not sure. I guess you could say that. I mean, Lelia is a mother, by all intents and purposes, or whatever you want to call it. Um, but it's not a but. Uh, her experience of motherhood is completely different from uh, Makia's, and it's. I mean, she gives birth. I guess one of. Sorry, my thoughts are everywhere. So the Eorfs, the long-lived race. Uh, I'm not sure if it's like a thing with the Eorfs because I mean, so one of the things you learn is that they are able to uh, put like messages and stories, basically like write within the what do you call it? I already forgot the loom, the cloth, the the like the things they spin. They're hebios. They're hebios. Is the hebio the story or the cloth? I forget. Um, yeah, this is why I should do it immediately. Yeah, a freaking boomer brain. But what was I talking about? Lelia's differences in story and mothership, and then Makia's. Oh yes. So when Makia first finds Ariel, she like sniffs him and smells him, and says he smells like the sun. Uh, I was wondering whether like Eorfs like did that. They smell their like newborns and then like I don't know. It's just like some kind of habit they did, or not habit, but like traits they have. Um, and what was it the because Lelia also smelled. Uh, what's her Mel? Sorry, I have the people here. Medmel, her like only daughters, whatever. Like when she gave birth to her, like she talks about it. She doesn't talk about it, but she says like it's been so long she forgets the smell of her daughter. Um, so I guess that's like a Eorf trait. And side note, but I think it was I went into this not knowing really anything about it, and I was like, man, these guys, they, they could write like a lot um, of other stories with this the setting because it's a pretty interesting setting. Um, I guess I mean they said they no longer exist, but like the giants, the leviathans that like carry the cargo over like seas, and then the race that like is able to fly, and then the ones that is it sings with the flowers or speaks to the flowers or something like that. I thought it was all interesting, and I really like settings in general, like have like building like an environment and that kind of stuff. And also going into that, the one of the things that I paid attention to a lot in this movie was the architectural design. I'm not an architectural student or like person by any means, but I just it's they're enjoyable to look at. I never built I never built nice looking houses in Terraria or Minecraft, unfortunately. But I always like looking at nice builds in general. And there was one scene that particularly caught my eye. It was the scene where um, I believe this is either the first or second time they moved uh, Maquia and Ariel, and this was in the town where Maquia was a waitress, and Ariel was old enough to the point where like he realizes that like the Maquia is different from like other people or whatever, since she's like kept the same sameness, same shit immort what sorry. I guess obviously they're not immortal, but they have their long lifespans, whatever. Um, and in that scene, I forget whether it's the inn or the place that they're staying, but they had like a grill, and then like the stone cobblestone like what you call it like the cobblestone around it, and it's like a built-in grill like on the kitchen sink, kitchen, whatever you call it, the surface of the kitchen table. I don't know what it's called. It escapes my brain, and my brain does not work at this hour. Um, but that like that's like cooked into my brain, and it's just really nice to look at. But there were many other uh, like setting architectural designs in the movie that was really cool, uh, and just nice to look at, like the giant water wheels, the the smithery, the blacksmith. Is it called a blacksmith smithery? Um, like ironworks or whatever you call it. That giant place where they like smelt all the stuff and then build other things. Um, it was just cool, nice to see. Random side note, but when uh, Makia gets angry at Ariel for the first time, and then Ariel runs away, and then he's on the like river, the bridge, and then the river's down there. I was afraid there he was gonna fall off, but fortunately he didn't fall off. But this is a lot of rambling, but there's a lot of thoughts I had, but um, sorry, there's just looking through this kind of stuff, looking through my screenshots and then looking through my like journal and stuff like that. Oh, I guess one of the very first things, is it first? One of the things, I mean, they do a great like job of storytelling. And was it Lelia? She was like, she saw all the, I forget what the name of those dragons like creatures are. Like it starts with R, uh, I think. But she like she is in the area, the holding area of those dragon creatures. Are they dragons? Something. Those creatures. Um, and she's like, "You guys have wings, but you can't escape." or but you don't like fly away and escape yourselves, right? Um, and before that, obviously, she was unable to escape herself because she's in a palace, and if she tried to escape, it'd be really easy to stop her. But then the chance comes and she's able to escape because all the other Eorfs, like, what's his name? Where the it starts with a K, I think. Krim, yeah, Krim. Krim and then the other people like uh, Krim and Maquia like try to help her escape during the procession of the marriage or whatever. And then Maquia is like convincing her to leave, and then she like does not want to leave because she has a baby, a kid, or a baby with the prince, right? The prince at that time. I guess the only prince in the movie, but the prince of that kingdom. Um, and she's unable, and at that point, she's like unable to. I would say she's unable to, but mentally, because so I'm. This is like assumptions, I guess, and I feel like it was spelled out probably with the beginning like thing where uh, where Krim and Lelia were like dancing in the flowers, and then Krim puts like the little thing on her head. Maybe I missed. Maybe that didn't happen, but the flower crown thing. But they definitely were like felt like romantic, right? They had like romantic feelings is the assumption, um, and I guess like Lelia feels trapped because she now has a baby with a person she does not love, which is not Krim, and so she like feels like she's unable to return or escape and be with Krim because she's now tied down by like the baby that she unwillingly had with the prince. Um, and that was like, what do you call it? A simile, a parallel to when she was talking about the dragon creatures earlier, and now she herself is unable to escape. Um, and there's a lot of like moments in the movie where like it feels like you know uh, I don't know how to describe it, but like basically like that kind of situation, right? But like not that exact situation. Um, sorry, I can't really think on that end, so that's the end of that thought. Um, but basically, I guess one thing that I didn't really think about throughout the movie was like Lelia's experience with motherhood, right? Because she basically was unable to be a mother. She never was able to meet Medmel until like the very end. Uh, and I guess it's kind of told in such a way that like throughout the movie you're watching Makia and Ariel grow up and their experiences in life and you know parenthood, childhood, that kind of stuff, and then it's like I guess is this writer's intent, director's intent, where it's like that is the main focus, right? And then the way they built Lelia, which is the absence of motherhood, she is also like be I'm not sure. I'm not a writer either, so I'm not sure how you would do this. But like because Lelia is like unable to meet Medmil and like be a mother, like be a whatever, right? Be a mother. Experience like a relationship with her daughter. Uh, like you just see her in her room, like locked up. Like every single time you see her, she is like never with her daughter, right? And they're very short scenes as well. So it's kind of like I don't know what there's probably a term for it, but like telling a story by not telling a story, you know. Um, that's that thought, I guess. I don't really. I mean, there were a lot of themes. I can't remember them. There was. and even if I remember them, I'm not really good at talking about them. So if you're watching this, sorry. But yeah, maybe I'll get better at this, and then people will watch. But maybe not. Um. Oh. Um. One. Two thoughts now that I'm looking at this. I'm really thankful that I wrote all this down. But so what's her name? Dita, when she like, I guess classic, like kid thing where you like bully the person you like, um, but that was kind of crazy. Not I'm using crazy like exaggeratively, but it's kind of crazy that like Dita, oh excuse me, Dita and the friend gang like was bullying Ariel, and then Ariel was like, I hate you. Oh excuse me, and then they literally leave the next day, and then Dita like has the flowers, and she's like practicing her line where she's like, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. I forget what she exactly said, but she was like practicing her line, and then Ariel's gone, right? Um, and I think that that kind of message or whatever, it's like people often say like, don't ever say anything or do anything that you'll regret, right? If you do something, then at least reconcile or talk it out and that kind of thing, and do it as fast as you can. I don't know if you can hear my PC. My PC is like freaking whirring, um, but that applies to like friendship, like friends, right? And that also applies to like your parents, because that was the thing with Maquia and Ariel, where Ariel ran away and Maquia was like doing her best. She was like trying to find a job, um, and they were like she was getting no leads. Like nobody wanted to take her, or nobody wanted to like work with her. Um, and then Ariel, I mean, he's a kid, so he's trying like do his best to like help his mother. He takes out the loom and like messes up the loom, the portable loom. And Makia is just like having a bad day. And I mean they reconcile pretty quickly. Uh, but I feel like in general, like in life, there's a lot of life lessons in this movie, and one of them is like like just reconcile. You only have so much time on this earth, right? Oh, I guess that's another thing. Another like theme or whatever that was in this movie was uh like limited lifespans, right? Obviously we're seeing like the point of view. I mean, we're seeing like many point of views. But Makia's point of view is that like she is a long-lived race, and she had a lot of time compared to uh, other people, um, normal humans, I should say, like humans. Um, Dang, I already forgot the train of thought I was talking about. Um, oh yeah, basically like I mean we humans, we are the humans. We only have like so much time on this earth, right? And there's no, they're basically saying, I mean, I don't know if they're saying it, but like what I got uh, from a lot of this movie was like, you, your time is limited on this earth. Spend it like well, um, and in general, this is not like from the movie, but like my thoughts on life. It's like, you should be, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of shit in life, um, but you should spend it as best as you can, right? Try to be as happy as you can. I know in this day and age on the internet, there's like headlines that make it very easy to be like a headline for the most part is going to want to incite emotion so that you like click on their thing so they can get ad revenue, that kind of stuff. That's like a whole different thing, but it's easy to be incited this in these days and ages or whatever. Um, but basically, like you live your life, um, and that is your life, right? You should spend it being in a positive, what do you call it, like emotional state, in positive conditions as best as you can. Um, And I mean, that's one of the things I took away from this movie was that like, I mean, we have limited time, man. Like, again, I'm 26 years old now. A couple of months, I'll be 27, and that's like, if I live to be 100, which maybe I won't, but it'd be nice to be able to live a long life. Like, I mean, I remember all the times when I was a kid and that kind of stuff. Um, and this movie definitely is like, dang, life is gonna go by fast, and people say that all the time too. And as a high schooler, as a middle schooler, when I heard that, I didn't really put much thought into it. But now that I'm here in this stage of life, it's like, yeah, it's going by fast. Um, Sorry, this is kind of like an off rant, but this was like some of the stuff that like I was thinking about afterwards. Um, but I mean, treat the people around you right, treat your family right, that kind of stuff. Um, I don't have a kid, I don't have a wife myself, uh, but I definitely when the the parenthood, the themes of parenthood in this movie definitely made me uh, not that I already wasn't like respectful and what do you call it, thankful for my parents, right? But like, what do you call it, reinvigorated, like renewed my thought on it, basically. Um, so that's that. Sorry, 26 minutes in, it's 1 a.m. I need to do a look back freaking thing as well. That one probably will be a lot shorter, uh, maybe, if I don't ramble. Um, yeah, I don't have much to say. I should do these earlier. I had a lot more to think about. World building's cool. Um, oh, one scene where Ariel is like going off to like do his own thing for the first time without Maquia. She says, is it itarashai? And then he says itadakimasu. Or no, he does not say itadakimasu. That is eating. Itarashai. It, man, my Japanese is still bad. Sorry, guys. Uh, Speaking of Japanese, I was thinking about doing these in Japanese, but I would not be able to relate anything if I'm to be honest. Um, but she says like be careful, like yeah, or whatever. It's like go and come back, basically, right? Is the translation or something like that. Don't take Japanese lessons from me. I'm only learning myself, so look it up if you want like proper translations. But basically, like she said that, and it's like saying Ariel is able to come back whenever he wants to, and I guess it's both figurative and literally, in the sense that like Ariel or Maquia is never going to age. Um, I mean, she is going to age, but at an exponentially slower rate. So no matter how old Ariel is going to be, no matter like the next time they meet, uh, if no like freak accident happens to Maquia, she's going to be there and she's going to be able to receive him back, uh, essentially. Um, Sorry, I. Oh, one thing. This is completely random, but I was I was writing here sentimentality, the sentimentality of so Ariel weaved, loomed, whatever you call it, threaded. I don't know what you call it. My brain's not working. He made the little thing that says like mom, uh, the cloth, and Makia like keeps it the entire time, and then he like she's very sentimental on it, right? Because I mean, that's when uh, that's when Ariel calls her mom, and then after he gets older, he stops calling her mom. Um, because teenage angst and that kind of stuff and whatnot. And I mean, not even teenage angst, but like you find out your mom's like a different race, a long lived race, and I mean, not your mother either. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because she raised him and then whatnot. Like, sorry, like what it means to be a mother is, I mean, not. I mean, it is blood, but it's also not blood, right? Like as Maquia has demonstrated throughout the entire movie, and also like what she was trying to figure out through the movie when she first took Ariel in. There was also something else I was gonna talk about, but then immediately forgot. Holy moly! Uh, I don't want like a bunch of dead space. I need like a thing to like edit out the dead space. But I was talking about sentimentality, and then the so the when this is in the very beginning when Makia gets like whisked away by the dragon creature thing, and then falls down and then finds Ariel, and then she wraps him in the hebial, the like burnt hebial, right? And at the very end, she wraps him in the hebial again when he is like on his deathbed, or he's just really old. But she wraps him around that with the hebial or whatever. I thought that was really nice because the hebial is like the story, right? It records stories and it is a story. And that was the beginning of Ariel's story and the story of Maquia and Ariel, right? And then she wraps it around him at the end of the story, and then that's like the end of the story. Sorry if that like sounds redundant, but it's pretty good symbolism, right? And there's a bunch of it in this movie, but I can't think off the top of my head until like uh, I like see it, right? But I think that the the movie does that really well. There's just a bunch of things like that, uh, but it's really cool. Like whether they intended it or not, I feel like for the most part they probably did intend it because I mean it's a director and writer and all that stuff, right? I don't know what goes in on those people's heads. I never write creatively, but it's cool to see. That's for sure. Um, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I had a lot of thoughts for this movie. It's really good, really enjoyable. I don't want to go too long. It's 1:13 a.m. I want to sleep. And I guess I'll do look back tomorrow, maybe. I want to watch more movies. Um, a lot of my nostalgia, I'll say, in anime movies specifically, is like I get a lot of nostalgia from them because the only time I watch them is when I'm on airplane flights. Uh, and I just when I was like a kid and then like now like every single time I do long distance flights, I watch anime movies, and it's just nostalgic, and I guess there's a lot of nostalgia that evokes from this movie. This movie is from like 2018, so man, 2018. When you say 2018, I feel like that's like 5 years ago. You know, 5 years ago is not 2018, but to me, like mentally, it kind of is, but it's not. In 2018, I was in college. Uh, like basically what 1 year, 2 year after getting into college, so like junior, sorry, sophomore, junior year. Um, if you're watching for the like my thoughts on the movie, stop watching here. This gonna be like just uh random thoughts before I like close it out. Um, but a lot of my nostalgia is from watching movies on the plane rides, and I kind of last year or 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 2023 or the 2022, uh, when I went to Japan with some friends, I was watching. No, sorry, a couple months before that when I went to Vietnam. Uh, when I went to Vietnam, I watched a bunch of movies on the plane ride, uh, and I was like, man, I kind of wish I watched more movies. Um, and I only really started doing that like recently. Um, but is it Pompo the Cinephile? That was a really enjoyable movie. And then there was a bunch of other ones. I forget. A lot of them were romance ones. There was Jose the Tiger and the Fish. I rewatched that recent. Sorry, excuse me. I rewatched that recently. Um, I probably will rewatch it again, and then I'll do like a review or my thoughts on it. Um, I don't even think this is a review. It's just my thoughts, right? Uh, my thoughts is the movie is good. Maquia's the movie is good. Maquia, when the promised flower blooms is good. Uh, that's pretty much it. But I already said that in the beginning. Um, but a lot of them were like romance movies. There was one where I watched. It was like the the guy. Sorry, I was about to spoil it. Let me stop. Uh, I'll talk about them when I get to it. But yeah, I'm rambling now. Um, that, that's pretty much my thought. I do want to watch more movies. I'm not sure what the next thing I want to watch is. Uh, but I'll find something. I'll find something nice to watch. Um, and again, I kind of said this previously, but if you think like, I mean, I guess I'll say these aren't really reviews. I guess they are reviews, but I'm a very easy person to like please. Um, so like a lot of like stuff, I guess maybe please is not the correct word. Like a lot of normal stuff, like not normal, like for example, all the isekai, um, like five, like how many is there? Like 50, like 100, like mangas that are out of isekai that are out. Um, like for the most part, when I read them, I'm not gonna be dissatisfied. Now I may not be satisfied, but I'm not going to be dissatisfied. It's more like a neutral um, emotion, if that makes sense. Maybe, you know, it's just like killing time to like read. Um, but Maquia was a good movie. I rate it. I don't know why I would rate it. 8 out of 10, something like that. Um, 8 out of 10, 8.5 maybe. Maybe I'll just keep it a solid number, 8 or 9 out of 10. That's pretty much it. It's I kind of like think on the CMS scale. Oh, that's kind of doxing me, isn't it? It doesn't matter, but I kind of think on like the old grading scale where it's like an A is like 100 to like 93 was like the grading system I was on, right? And like a 93 to like a 80 something was like a B. I forget. Um, Sorry, that's not really relevant. Um, but an 8 out of 10 is very solid in my books, very enjoyable, and that's pretty much it. Don't have much else to say. Got a bunch of screenshots. I wish I could show you, but you know, it's how it is. Maybe I won't edit. 39 minutes. That's too long. Uh, I have no remaining words. Peace.